opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Inclusive Report. Today is Thursday, April 21, 2022. I am Carlos Kanahashi, your host for today, and together with me is Sir Mark Betita as my technical supervisor, and you're broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio and to be viewed on the next day on the YouTube channel of HNI Inclusion Pilipinas. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment, and we'll be back after our commercials. Now this.
Meron akong pangarap para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatak, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo huling babangon. Luman ang ating pinanggalingan. Tayo ay muling luluwa. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Okay, welcome back to the Inclusive Report. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we will discuss about who is Lapu-Lapu. Because as you may know, last year we celebrated the 500th anniversary of the birth of Christianity and the Battle of Mactan. So, we will tell you a story about who Lapu-Lapu is, or Sipulaka as well. So without further ado, here now is our topic, who is Lapu-Lapu? Sino si Lapu-Lapu or Sipulaka? Sir Mark, can you share screen please? Thank you. Okay. So here now is our topic, ladies and gentlemen. Who is Lapu-Lapu? So let me tell you a story about the history of Lapu-Lapu. Next slide, please. Sino si Lapu-Lapu? Lapu-Lapu is part of our national heroes in our country. He was famously vanquishing Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese conquistador, and his army in their attempt to colonize Mactan Island. In honor of his triumph, Lapu-Lapu's monument stands tall in the island of Mactan, symbolizing the country's resistance to the Spanish colonization in our country. So, in layman's term, ladies and gentlemen, Lapu-Lapu is the Datu of Mactan in Visayas. And he is best known for the Battle of Mactan that happened on the dawn of on April 27, 1521, where he and his warriors defeated the Spanish forces led by Ferdinand Magellan and Raha Humabon and Datu Zula. Magellan's death ended his voyage of circumnavigation and delayed Spain's colonization of the Philippines until the expedition of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi in 1564. Legazpi continued Magellan's expeditions, which led to the colonization of the Philippines from Spain for 333 years. He is a rival of Raha Humabon of neighboring Cebu. The only existing armory source mention him by name of the account of Antonia Pigafetta, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. So, although the exact date of his arrival is unknown, based on historical research, Lapu-Lapu reached the shores of Sugbu from Borneo. Rahau Mabon ruled over Cebu and was recognized by natives as the island's king. He asked Rahau Humabon for a place to settle in the archipelago. In response, the king offered him the region of Mandaue, including Opong. He soon after became the chief of the region's people, referred to as Dato Lapu-Lapu of Mactan Island. Next slide, please. So Lapu-Lapu is also known under the names of Sipulaka, Si Lapu-Lapu. Historians can't unanimously agree on his real name. The man has always been etched in history for his battle against Ferdinand Magellan. On March 16, 1521, Ferdinand Magellan stumbled upon Omanhon, which is known today as Samar, wherein he was en route to the Spice Island. He was established an alliance with the local rulers, particularly Raha Humabon of Cebu. It was Magellan who convinced Raha Humabon and his wife to be baptized into Roman Catholicism and offered them Santo Niño. It is said to be the very moment in history when the Christian religion was introduced to our country, which is part of our influences in Spain ever since Spain colonized the Philippines for over 333 years. Next slide, please. So, recognizing the warm hospitality of Raha Humabon towards them, Ferdinand Magellan sought to introduce Catholicism like Mactan in Cebu. They named two ships, Zula and Sipolaca. While the former welcomed the Spanish conquistador and submitted to Spain, Lapu-Lapu strongly opposed Magellan's proposal and the orders of Rahu Humabon. It started the Battle of Mactan. It was Humabon himself who provoked Spain into fighting against Lapu-Lapu and his army. Based on Antonio Pigafetta's research, he traveled with Magellan during his voyage, kept a journal to record the events and the local data on local inhabitants. During the Battle of Mactan, Magellan and his 50 of his troop members were up against Lapu-Lapu and his warriors. Because he wanted to show off his army's European armor, he asked the warriors of Humabon to stay on the ship. Igapeta wrote that Lapu-Lapu and his army aimed their fire hardened bamboo spears and poisoned arrows at the legs of their enemies, which led to the death of Magellan. The survivors came rushing back onto the ship and fled. Next slide, please. In honor of the victory of Lapu-Lapu, a 20-meter brass statue was erected in Mactan, and the town of Opon in Cebu was renamed as Lapu-Lapu City. The city government of Cebu held an event on April 27 called Kandaugan sa Mactan to commemorate the victory of the Battle of Mactan, which is the reenactment of the battle between the tribe of Lapu-Lapu and Magellan's army. While Lapu-Lapu's story is widely known among Filipinos, there still lies uncertainty about his identity and what really transpired during the Battle of Mactan. For instance, no one really knows what he looks like. As for Pigafetta, Cebuano historian Emilio Pascual reviewed in the documentary that it's likely the Italian scholar never really left the ship to witness the famous battle and recall the exact events that happened. Next slide, please. So, the precise details of history are modeled. Lapu-Lapu stands to this day a symbol of independence in our country, even after the centuries of colonization and violence. Locals proudly honor the man who rallied them in a fight for control of their own destiny. Next slide, please. According to one account, There are various names for Lapu-Lapu because of wrong translations by different writers. In Antonio Pigafetta's written accounts, the Italian scholar who joined Magellan's conquest referred to si Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu was a dato of Mactan in the Visayas. Modern Philippine society regards him as the first Filipino hero because of his resistance to imperial Spanish colonization. So, so before we close our topic, ladies and gentlemen, Lapu-Lapu is regarded retroactively as the first Filipino hero. On April 27, 2017, President Rodrigo Duterte declared April 27 as Lapu-Lapu Day, in honor as the first hero in the country who defeated foreign rule. Duterte also signed the Executive Order Number 17, creating the Order of Lapu-Lapu, which recognizes the services of government workers and private citizens in relation to the campaign and advocacies of the president. The government erected a statue in Lapu-Lapu City, the brass statue of Lapu-Lapu in Mactan Island. He has also appeared in the main design of the 1 centavo coin from 1967 to 1994. Last year, the BSP, or the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, in collaboration with the in relation to the quincentennial commemorations last year, launched the 5,000 peso bill commemorative banknote in honor of his heroism. So, you all may know that last year we celebrated the 500th anniversary of Lapu-Lapu's victory, and the special part of the Philippines played in the world circumnavigation are collectively referred as the quincentennial commemorations in the Philippines, which also signaled the start of Christianity in our country. So we finish our topic, and let's move on to the next part of our show. Next slide, please, is our updates in relation to the May 9, 2022 elections. So, COMELEC sees higher overseas voter turnout for the May 9, 2022 polls. COMELEC is expecting a higher turnout for overseas voting in this year's polls, one of the commissioners said today. According to Marlon Casquejo, our overseas voting right now is very much interesting because in the first day, there's so many overseas voters who want to vote. So we are expecting a much higher voting turnout as compared in the 2016 and 2019 elections. According to COMELEC, data showed that there are about 1.7 million Filipinos living abroad who are registered in the May 9, 2022 polls. Next slide, please. According to Casquejo, the current number of voters who turned up to cast their ballots have surpassed their budget. He said, so far from this early time period of voting, we have already reached our target, which is more than 30%. Overseas voting began on April 10 and will run until the May 9, 2022 elections on May 9. The 2016 elections had the highest voter turnout in recent polls, with 31.25% cast their votes. There were 1.37 million registered voters that year. Meanwhile, from the 1.82 million registered overseas voters in the 2019 polls, the voter turnout was 27.3%. Okay. So now we conclude our election 2022 updates. Next slide, please. Let us move on to the next part of our show for today is our get to know our candidates for the May 9, 2022 elections entitled Sino Ka? Know your candidates in the May 9, 2022 elections. Next slide, please. Our featured candidate for today is Dr. Mingita Padilla. She'll be running for senator this year. She's a doctor. She is a clinical associate professor at the College of Medicine at Philippine General Hospital in UP Manila. She is a consultant in St. Luke's Medical Center in Taguig. She is an ophthalmologist, academician, author, and health advocate with a career spanning over 34 years. She was a former executive staff under Chairman and Health Secretary Janet Garin from March 2015 until the end of the administration of former President Pinoy or Benigno S. Aquino III at PhilHealth, and she is the former consultant of DOH under Enrique Ona and Janet Kirin from 2014 to 2015 under the leadership of former President Benigno S. Aquino III. So this May 9, 2022, let's vote wisely in the elections. Next slide, please. Let us move on to the next part of our show, which is our announcements. Next slide, please. So, as part of the continuing efforts to support the Hands in Inclusion Philippines organization, we urge everyone to purchase our products in the Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop. So the products that we are selling are the following. Our One Inclusion Nation t-shirts and the One Inclusion Nation tote bags. For the One Inclusion Nation t-shirts, it's available in red, black, blue, white, mustard, gold, and green. Sizes are ranged between small to triple XL. Prices are ranged from 325 to 375 pesos. For the One Inclusion Nation tote bag, sizes are ranged between medium to large 190 to 200 pesos. And if you want to purchase these, please let us know and send us a message. And strictly payment first before purchase. And we're accepting payments from GCash and Union Bank only. Next slide, please. The Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed for areas under Alert Level 5. It will continue to serve in areas under Alert Level 1 to 4 only. Its operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hands Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hands.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. So we at Hands in Inclusion Philippines needs your help. To be honest, many of us have already been struggling with the financial problems of the organization. So regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if you're going to donate small or large amount. This will be a great big help to us, ladies and gentlemen. How can you do this? You may donate using GCash and Union Bank as well. And what are you waiting for? Please continue to help Hands in Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. Our goal is to raise funds in our organization and let us have the time to rebuild to have a bigger, better, and a bolder organization. Proceeds from the sales and for your donations will go to us in Health and Inclusion for the expenses, the formality, including the SEC registration in the future, and the financial aid of the members due to the effect of the coronavirus disease 2019 pandemic. So guys, for those who did this, we be glad you did and thank you for your continuous generosity and for your support in advance. Okay, so before we go on to the next slide, if you want to purchase accessories from Ate Lady Jane Florese, you may message her on El Jane Accessories through Messenger or WhatsApp as well. Okay, Sir Mark, next slide please. If you have problems with your Android or iOS phones and tablets, Windows and Apple laptops and desktop computers, or if you want to download music, games, and movies, Sir Mark Betita is here to assist you. How can you do this? You may message him on Mark PC Laptop Repair Services on his on Facebook, Mark Paulo Betita, or you may message contact him at 0947-355-4759. Next slide, please. So we have some events coming up for the month of April in Best Buddies Philippines. The events are tomorrow at 8 p.m. It is Buddies Be Friends with Best Buddies Philippines and teacher Cheryl of Alres. On April 23, on our Best Buddies Philippines Saturday series at 4 p.m. on that day, we'll be discussing I Can Find Lessons in All My Experiences with teacher Lay Santa Maria of the Atma Parama Wellbeing Group. April 29 is Buddies Be Friends with teacher Cheryl of Alres. And on April 30, we will discuss I Can Focus and Center Myself with teacher Lay Santa Maria of the Atma Parama Wellbeing Group. If you want to join the events for tomorrow and next Friday, which is next week, on April 29 and on April 23 and 30, follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. Send them a message. They will send you the registration form and the link as well. Remember, Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support clean and fair elections and do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the Best Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. In Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. Okay, if you want to crave for something for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your merienda, or any occasion, birthdays and parties, then you want to order some of the foods from the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant and the Kuya Korea Restaurant. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, the menus are for an all-day breakfast, tapa sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large. Prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. For our rice trays, we have beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef gyudon, pork crackling beets, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes range between solo to large. Prices range between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. For our sandwiches, we have the fried chicken sandwiches, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes range between regular, large, solo, and box of fours. Prices range between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pasta, we have mac and cheese and penne and gorgonzola. Sizes range between solo to large. Prices range between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. If you want to order, please hear the steps. First, head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website. Select the dishes you want to order. Choose between pick up or delivery. Pay conveniently through any of the safe integrated payment methods and your order is confirmed. Expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. If you want to crave for something Korean, and you want to order some of the foods from the Kuya Korea restaurant. The menus are for the rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices range between 195 to 220 pesos. For the chicken, for the boneless popcorn chicken, sizes are range between half to whole. Prices are range between 235 to 435 pesos with the flavors of gochujang, ganjang, chicken, and K-buffalo. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. Next slide, please. So on April 30, 2022, Saturday, De La Salle College of St. Benilde will have its virtual commencement exercises for first term 2021 to 2022. So on behalf of Hands in Inclusion Philippines to our fellow Benildians who will be graduating this April 30, 2022, congratulations for doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow Hands in Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It would be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, Hands in Inclusion PH, InkluRadyo, InkluSports, InkluNihan, InkluGaming, and the online shop. Instagram, Hands in Inclusion PH. Twitter, HNI Pilipinas. Kumu, HNI Philippines, and subscribe to the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much. Next slide, please. Now is the time for our shout outs and greetings. So to Sir Mark Betita, to Lady Jane Florese, and to Millicent Macuse, good afternoon to you and thank you for watching. From Sir Mark, shout out to Antropang PWD, to Lady Jane Florese, to Annalyn Lopez, Sayuri Garcia, Sherry Anchel Aquino, the Palmera Boys, Jason De La Gencia, Rosemary Sorondo, Tere Gomez, Nina Marie Sabado, and to his family. Uh, to those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday and expect the more birthdays to come. Those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well. And also, for me, shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hands in Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Benilde, and other PWD organizations, and to my high school and college friends as well. To those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood, but if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well-being as well. For those who are watching me on InkluRadyo, thank you very much as well. For those, if you miss this episode, it will be viewed on the next day on the YouTube channel of Hands in Inclusion Philippines. Next slide, please. Before we go, let us have our words for the day. Next slide, please. From Lapu-Lapu. No army is great enough to withstand the storm of our people, because we need to show that bravery is very important. Be brave. Dapat ipakita natin ang tapang at lakas at dapat magpakitang gilas tayo sa anumang gagawin natin sa buhay. Okay. Sir Mark, can you disable the share screen, please? And open cam as we prepare ourselves to wrap up our show. Okay. That's a wrap for the Inclusive Report for Thursday, April 21, 2022. We might see you this over the weekend, but we'll be having another round of presidential and vice presidential debates on April 23 and 24. So we'll let you know if tuloy tayo for the podcast for the weekend. Because it's April 23 and 24 are debate days, actually. So, on behalf of Hands in Inclusion and InkluRadyo, I am Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, your host for today, and Sir Mark Betita as our technical supervisor. May awa ang Diyos, makakaraos pa tayo, sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan, hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Muli, magandang hapon at pagpalain nawa tayo ng Diyos ng buong may kapal. May the mighty God bless us all. Ngayong ikalima ng anibersaryo, makatotohanan ng inklusyon, angat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI, posible. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed afternoon to all and a goodbye for now. Goodbye and thank you.